By 1830, the average American over 15 years old consumed nearly 7 gallons of pure alcohol a year, 3 times as much as we drink today. And alcohol abuse, primarily by men, was wreaking havoc on the lives of many, particularly in an age when women had few legal rights and were utterly dependent on the husbands for sustenance and support. Many people's opinion would say that women are the main reason for Prohibition. Women overreacted to the use of alcohol by their husbands and the other men in their lives, and they were afraid of the outcome. The woman Christian temperance movement was organized by women who were concerned about the destructive power of alcohol and the problems it was causing to the families and society. They would usually meet in churches to pray, and then they would march to the saloons to ask the owners to close their establishments. The Anti-Saloon League was a league for Prohibition. It was strongest in the South and in rural North areas, and it was founded in Oberlin, Ohio. The Prohibition Party is the oldest existing third party in the United States. It was very important in politics in the 1920s, and it's declined incredibly since 1933.
The laws of Prohibition included the 18th Amendment, the Volstead Act, and the 21st Amendment. The 18th Amendment was passed on January 16, 1919. It established prohibition of alcoholic beverages. In other words, it outlawed the production, the transportation, and the sale of alcohol. The Volstead Act, passed on October 28, 1919, was also known as the National Prohibition Act. It was established to help enforce the 18th Amendment. One of the things the Volstead Act did was define alcohol as 1/2 of 1% alcohol that was in any beverage. It authorized the IRS to administer the act. The Volstead Act also ensured that ample amounts of alcohol were left in order to do scientific research and were used for legal and reasonable practices such as church ceremonies. The 21st Amendment was passed on December 5, 1933. The amendment simply repealed the 18th Amendment and Prohibition was over.
Yay!
During Prohibition, alcohol became dangerous to consume, organized crime blossomed, courts and prison systems became overloaded, and corruption overtook the police and public officials. This time, moonshine, also known as hooch and white lightning, was illegally produced, especially in southern states. Enforcing this law was a hard thing to do. Bootleggers and rum runners were plentiful.
Go.
Bootlegging alcohol is what fueled organized crime. By the late 1920s, more than 1 million gallons of liquor had been illegally brought to the U.S.
Go.
As crime became more usual and expected, the morals of the United States citizens decreased. The crime rate went up, with the leading face of Al Capone. He was America's best-known gangster and the greatest symbol for the collapse of law and order during this time. Additionally, many other things happened, including worsened drinking habits and harm to the public due to gangs and crime.
Go.
Another event was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Al Capone and the Northside Irish Gang killed 7 mob members.
We as a group believed that Prohibition was an attempt to not only shape the morality of U.S. citizens, but also it was unconstitutional. Prohibition began with a change of the Constitution during the 18th Amendment. This change limited freedom and went against the Declaration's statement of giving all citizens life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. One of the pinnacles of debate was women were upset at how their husband acted while under alcohol and also the money they spent. The government trying to prohibit alcohol was an attempt to change the behaviors of its citizens and limit choices.